HealingYourself.Life provides information for awareness, educational, and support purposes only and does not diagnose or prescribe treatment for any medical condition. Viewers are encouraged to do their own due diligence and consult with their own medical caregivers before making personal treatment decisions.
Hi guys, we're back. I'm Melody Kaiser.
And I'm Dunagun Kaiser.
And we're here to talk today about staying healthy while you're traveling. First of all, I want to apologize that we've been away for quite some time. I was sick for a good 1 to 2 weeks, possibly pneumonia. I had a nebulizer at home and everything, and he was busy taking care of me. So, and then we went on a week-long vacation, which was wonderful. So we want to talk about not only staying healthy, but why vacations are important. What does that have to do with staying healthy?
So we're staying at a hotel near the cruise port of Port Liberty, New Jersey, where we're going to be departing for our cruise. And we wanted to show you one of the precautions that we take whenever staying at a hotel, because we have stayed at hotels, even high-end hotels, such as Hyatt Place and others, that where we got bed bugs and suffered multiple bed bug bites, even in supposedly better rated hotels. So here's something you can do whenever you arrive at a hotel and you want to make sure that you find whether the room is clean or not. In that regards, you go to every corner of the bed. So here's one of the 4 corners of the bed. You pull back all the bedclothes all the way down to the mattress, so everything comes off. Now in this case, you want to look for anything
before you have the luggage in the
before
room.
you even bring the luggage in the room, right? You want to inspect this and use a flashlight on your phone if you have one. But you want to look for any things that look like pepper specks or dark stains or anything on the mattress that could be fecal remains, because you won't find the actual bed bugs themselves that look like apple seeds because they're in hiding, but you may see their fecal remains. But in this case, everything's clean and pure. And in fact, very, very unusually and quite impressively, this hotel has a allergen barrier. It's a complete encasement over the entire mattress of an allergen barrier. So there's no staining and there's no speckles like pepper or anything on there showing no remains of any insect activity there. So we did this at all 4 corners of the bed. By the way, while discussing bed bugs, you can get this all-natural bed bug killer spray, and the only active ingredient in here is geranium oil at 0.5% concentration, and the sodium lauryl sulfate is just soap, so that's just a carrier to help disperse it. Otherwise it's just distilled water, citric acid. So the idea is that you just do a nice thorough soaking of spraying the edges and seams outside and inside of your bags less than 2 weeks prior to leaving, and we just did it a couple days before packing, and then you go ahead and pack and bring your stuff, and then if you can spray your clothes too. We tend to just spray the luggage, and then when your luggage is in the hotel room, you won't have any unwanted guests jumping aboard. And then before you pack up to leave for home, before you pack the bags up again, you can spray it again before you leave. But you can order this stuff online. It's not very expensive, but it's a precaution we've been starting to take since we got infested twice with bed bugs on a trip. Also wipe down the surfaces of the room that we're going to be touching with these disinfecting wipes. And so that means, of course, like any countertops, the bedside tables, any of the light switches, any of the drawers, any of the handles on the doors, and everything in the bathroom that you're going to touch should be wiped off with disinfecting wipes. If you just want to make sure you take the extra precaution and not pick up any unwanted illnesses when you're traveling. Here on our ship, the ritual begins again with using a germicide on all of the surfaces that we're going to be touching. There's also one more handy packing tip for you, and that's if you need a memory foam pillow because you don't like the random pillows you get at the various places and you'd rather get good night's sleep, here's something that you can try. here's how we pack a full-size memory foam pillow in a small space so that it fits inside a suitcase. So the idea is you take the memory foam pillow and you take one of these big bags that you can buy. It's much bigger than a regular Ziploc bag, and when you put it in there, you'll be able to squish it down. I'll show you. So now we've got the memory foam pillow inside the bag, but it's still not small yet. And you might be asking, what does a memory foam pillow have to do with health? But boy, we've learned the hard way that several nights of poor sleep from inconsistent hotel pillows can really wreak havoc on your rest, and that can really wreak havoc on your immune system and your health. So having consistency is the real deal. And so what we're going to do is we're going to squish this down, and if you have a vacuum cleaner you can stick it in there, but we don't have a vacuum cleaner because we're at the hotel. So you can just provide pressure from any source, and then go ahead and seal up the seal, and you'll see how small this gets. And there you have it. It's about a third or a fourth its original size, and it can easily fit into the suitcase. Hey, one more healthy life hack for healthy traveling, and that is to bring along black electrician's tape and aluminum foil, because for different individuals are more sensitive to this than others, but for those who are sensitive to light, specifically high intensity LED lighting that's disruptive to their sleep, it can be very difficult to get away from that even in your own home. We've completely removed anything from the bedroom that makes LED lights or covered them up with the black tape in our home. But even like in a hotel room, you show up and right next to your bed is these really bright LED alarm clocks. You can just take it off the bedside table and set it like face down on the carpeting so it's not going to be bugging you. But also, if you just start looking around your room, you're going to find that like on the bottom of the television, you're going to find LEDs and that sort of thing. You're going to find usually one flashing from the smoke detector on the wall. It's going to sit there and it's going to flash at you all night. So if you don't like light pollution disturbing your sleep, you can get your EMFs farther from the bed by unplugging things that are near the bed. And you can also put this black electrician's tape over all of the sources of unwanted light in the room, including the peephole on the door. Go ahead and cover that thing up with a small piece of electrician's tape too, because then you won't have light coming in from the hall at night. And go ahead and take a towel from the bathroom and lay it down on the floor along the bottom of the door to prevent light from leaking in there as well. So you can have a good night's sleep with less light pollution. So you get healthier sleep and a more healthy, restful travel experience. So when you're applying black tape to cover up the flashing or solid LEDs on various appliances in the room, just be careful that you don't do it the wrong way. For example, on smoke detectors, do not cover up the open breathing holes and do not push the test button when doing it. Just cover up the LED. That's all you need to do. And
Take it off in the morning.
In the morning, you remove it again, and no problem. Similarly with the peephole in the door, in the morning, just remove it, and everything as it was. Also, for a quiet night's sleep, ask for a room on the top floor. You won't have overhead foot traffic. And you can call ahead and ask if it has cement construction of the rooms. These are cement plank ceilings. It's the way to go for quietness from a noise above in the room. So we selected some healthier options for food
Yes.
with fajita.
Fajita chicken, cucumbers. The only carbs that I'm eating right now is the potato, and I'm probably not going to finish that. There's also a no sugar option with the coleslaw. It's a lovely slaw.
Gluten-free.
And gluten-free as well. And we have steak, obviously that a little higher fat, but and everything else, there's no, like again, no carbs. So we're trying to eat healthy on our cruise. And also there'll be some times when we have some fun with a dessert or things, something like that. But there is a way to eat healthy on the cruise. There are healthier options.
And there's grilled chicken available.
Yes, that's a
And
very
we
good
got the
healthy
bottled
option.
water package. So we have unlimited glass,
Water.
not plastic, glass bottled water throughout the cruise.
Very important.
The cruise line has allowed us to order gluten-free at all our meals. So they brought us gluten-free toast for breakfast,
Lactose-free milk.
lactose-free milk,
Mint tea.
Mint
Very
tea.
lovely.
So having this healthy breakfast before we start our adventures in Bermuda for the first time we've ever been here. Well, we've arrived in Bermuda, King's Wharf, Bermuda, and we had soon land now for the first time in 2.5 days.
The water is gorgeous, and we're just enjoying some relaxation out on our deck with a great little breakfast, which is very important to take some time to relax on any vacation so that you can rejuvenate.
Another safety tip for you here when traveling is always make sure you understand what the locking mechanism is for the entries to your room. In this case, we're blessed with a veranda or balcony type cabin, but the balconies are all more or less accessible to each other if somebody really wanted to. So to make sure that nobody enters your room through the balcony door, the door handle says it has a open versus locked position, but I tested it and found out that even when it's down in the locked position, the little latch doesn't do anything. I mean, it's supposed to. There's a latch mechanism that goes up and down here, but it doesn't have any real effect. And so when the door is closed, there is, however, a physical latch that you can set that makes the door more difficult to open from outside. So always check that out. All the entries to your room, if you're going to be leaving your valuables or anything in your room, trying to minimize that. Also, remember to go ahead and take use of the in-room or in cabin safe that they provide. And to open that, you just put in a code number and hit the pound button, and it'll open. When you close it, you put in the same number, and it'll do it again. It'll latch it closed. So that way, you're in control of your belongings. Then you were going to talk about why vacations are so important.
Yes. And
for health, the whole idea
right,
of being...
for health. Yeah. Well, a couple of things. One of the things we needed was some downtime. And also, if you're in a relationship, it's also very important for couple time, because when you're so busy doing your schedules, you're not getting maybe the rest that you need. You're not exercising as much as you should, but obviously that's something that's very important. And so a couple of the things we've outlined. First is vacations are important so that you can have some couple time. Number 2, to get the rest that you need, to get some good, healthy exercise. And also, for us, the relaxation. The relaxation is very important to take that downtime so you can relax.
You made the point when we were talking about this that even in our modern culture, it seems like we almost get to working like machines.
Yes, right.
Robots.
We're not.
But
machines.
You said even machines need maintenance.
Right.
So taking that time to recoup and reset and regenerate is important for anybody. And the other thing was the consequence of not getting well was pretty serious this time, because when you got hit with that heavy, that pneumonia, upper respiratory infection, we actually had to cancel our planned cruise. We had planned a multi-family trip in the month of May, and completely had to bail out and cancel that and reschedule. So we rebooked for June.
Luckily, we had travel's insurance through our
charge
card, so that was very beneficial. And then we went off, and it's probably been the first time that we've had a week-long vacation since our 10th anniversary, and this was for our 36th anniversary. So
just the two of us.
Just the two of us went. So it actually ended up being very good, and it was. We did a lot of not only fun things but active things, which again on a vacation is very important, that you're not just sitting around. And most people aren't on vacation, but that. Again, the sleep, we slept sometimes 9 hours. There was one time an opportunity that we could have gone on this great excursion to take a ferry. It was called Island Hamilton. Harbor Nights. And they were, it was going to be all local, wonderful sellers there, and night market vendors, and a great opportunity to buy local people's art and things like that. But you know what, we decided we needed the rest because we had an early morning the next day for a very vigorous exercise day with our excursion, and so we took the time to sleep, which was actually very important as well. Well, vacations and having some downtime is very important for the body as well.
So we're going to talk about ways that we emphasize to stay healthy while traveling. And traveling is a time when you definitely, I mean, it's never fun to be sick, right? But you don't want to, being sick at home is one thing, but being sick on a vacation or traveling is the worst.
Yeah.
So it's a time of a lot of change. You can change your diet, change the water, change the air, change the people you're around, be in crowded situations, sometimes stressful if you don't know what you're doing. So there are lots of ways that you can get exposed to things that you normally wouldn't because you're out of your normal environment. And so how can you keep yourself healthy and safe while traveling?
Right.
And one of the things you mentioned was we kept up with some exercise.
Yeah.
Looked for different opportunities for exercise. We went on hiking through the jungle excursion.
Yes, that's
so
a good idea.
we did this jungle hike in Bermuda, and no bugs. It was amazing.
No, it was amazing. They do have mosquitoes there, but they don't have any ticks.
We didn't see any mosquitoes.
And they have no snakes. And it was a relatively very safe island. And for when we do put this over on the preppers, we'll also talk about how they get their water and the prepping that they
preparedness
do,
aspects
preparedness
of,
for hurricanes
of life
and things
in Bermuda
like that.
for the islanders.
Yeah. So, but anyway, we went cave swimming. So we stayed very active.
And also swimming in the waves. We were going to go snorkeling. We had purchased prescription swim goggles and did two opportunities of snorkeling.
We did.
But on the one day we were going to go at this one of the top 5 beaches in the world that's there. We decided the surf was too rough for that, but we ended up just going and frolicking and riding the waves. And it was very physical.
Yeah,
for
it was. Actually
several
got
hours.
a chest workout and stuff from moving your arms to stay afloat, and so it was great. Again, that's one way. I think that was the other thing that we found. This was a cruise ship. I won't say the name because I think you can find on a lot of the cruises, ways to stay healthy. Obviously, you can definitely go over your calorie count and all that on a cruise. But we were very grateful. We said we were gluten-free, so at our evening meals we got gluten-free bread. And we stayed, there were 2 alcoholic drinks, which was a no-no on our diet, but we did do 2 alcoholic drinks over the 7 days, so that wasn't overdoing it. Mostly we ate healthy, I would say, and we also did we splurged on desserts, which was also a no-no, but we stayed away from coffee, which is another thing with the caffeine. They had wonderful herbal teas.
So at every meal,
Yeah.
we tended to have herbal tea
Yep.
and bottled water. In fact,
Yes, I should show you. Yeah.
The water from a hydration standpoint and from that's one of the risks when you're traveling is they say don't drink the water.
Sometimes
so,
do not. Yeah.
Changes to your water supply can bring in different things you're not accustomed to. Your system's not usually exposed to. So when we got an onboard credit on our cruise booking, we decided to invest most of that on buying their water package. They had all these soft drink packages and alcohol packages and everything. We just said, no, we don't need any of that. But we did get the bottled water package, and at every meal we put away 2 of these, which is 2 liters of San Pellegrino at every meal.
And then we could go to the bar, ironically, the bar.
And get as many of these as we wanted. So we got 2 of these typically every couple hours. So we went through just, I guess, cases of bottled water.
Did,
always, whenever possible, going for the glass bottles instead of plastic.
Yeah, when we went off on excursions, we took plastic water bottles with us so that we wouldn't, get broken glass. But at every meal, it was always glass. And when we went, they had, obviously on a cruise you get, there was like trivia games that we could go play. That was our sit-down time. And we played some trivia games, and we always then got glass bottles. The other thing we did on our cruise that they have is a spa, and they had we love steam rooms. If you like hot tubs, they had those readily. And
saunas.
To relax. We took downtime we had like 5 out of the 7 days we did a steam room. And it was lovely because they also had heated seats. So we could keep our temperature up, which was important for the Lyme and the Candida.
Yeah, if you haven't seen our video about different methods of helping yourself without taking dangerous medications to treat ailments like Lyme and Candida, one of the ways is by raising your body temperature.
Right, over 100, has to be over 100.
It's like mimicking the fever that your body would normally produce, which makes it inhospitable for the bad guys in there. But we are able to do that synthetically in a sauna, and we did it in the steam room multiple times.
And it was great. We did have to pay extra for that. They did have saunas for free. But again, since this was our anniversary, we wanted to be together in the steam rooms. You could do that together.
And you mentioned rest. At home, we typically struggle to get adequate rest, and we promised ourselves that rather than running ourselves, so much fun activities you can do on a cruise ship, you can do all these things. We said, nope, we're going to make sure we get enough rest, and I think we did.
We did. Yeah, for sure. There was one early morning where we did a 7-hour excursion, which was the hike in the jungle, a cave swim, a cave hike, snorkeling, and that was absolutely fantastic. Again, it was relaxing. We didn't feel, the people who were running the excursion, we never felt rushed, which can also be a stressor if you're feeling like, oh, you got to go from the next event to the next event. Forget it. So it was all very relaxing. And
another way we did relaxing was you could save money by doing your own excursions and just getting a taxi cab and going on your own.
True.
But especially on the last day when the ship was going to be leaving, we wanted to make sure that we were on an official excursion, so we had a official cruise-sanctioned tour bus that was going to bring us back to the cruise ship before the ship left. So one less thing to worry about. Right.
And that's important when you're on vacation, is to not do things that are going to inherently either stress you out or that you're worrying about time. Make sure that you leave plenty of time. This is the time when you're not trying to feel rushed about things. So that's really important. And we just touched on eating healthy, and I want to go a little bit more into that, because on a cruise, so much of the time you can be eating sweets and all of that. And I love my desserts. I grew up with desserts. I will tell you, growing up, for breakfast, my parents, we would have High C, which is a Kool-Aid type canned drink, and donuts sometimes. It was horrible. That wasn't obviously every morning, but that was one of our things we would do up at our lake cabin. So I'm used to sweets. But since the Candida diet, having to go off all those, I was amazed at how it wasn't a big deal. Like, I didn't have to have like a dessert at every meal. We could do, like now we're back with no desserts, but we could do a dessert here or there, or take a bite of a dessert.
Yeah, you reminded me, you don't have to eat the whole thing.
You don't have to eat the whole thing.
So
if you want just the taste and the flavor, like for us, since we were trying to do gluten-free, I wanted some chocolate cake. And I thought, well, I can just take a couple bites. And so that's what I did. And so we had, during lunch, they have a lovely buffet where you can get all the fruits that you want. And so we would load up on fruits, and we did eat the salad. Some places, when you go to certain countries, you do not want to eat anything raw. On the cruise, we felt relatively safe to eat salads and things like that. So we did. Obviously cooked vegetables. They had plenty of that. And they would try to accommodate any special meals that you needed. So I thought that was
I thought that was helpful. They even reminded us a couple of times, because we registered as gluten-free, and sometimes we'd point on the menu, okay, I'd like this thing, like the apple pie, and they said, oh, that's not gluten-free. So I said, I know, I'm going to peel back the crust. And
I did, and so I had the apples inside. So again, and we did do ice cream, especially on the one excursion. It was homemade ice cream on the island. That was fabulous.
You mentioned how do you avoid germs, that kind of thing.
Yes,
hand washing.
That was the other thing.
They're you're crowded in a cruise. You're crowded with in this case, not a very big cruise ship, but 2,000 passengers and 1,000 crew. But that's a lot of people in that small space, all sharing the same everything.
Yes.
And I had to tell you a couple of times how just dismayed I was to see in the men's room how many guys, grown men, would finish their business and go right out the door without ever washing their hands. And it's like, really? So then you go,
and maybe there's some of you who do that, and I will tell you right now, C. diff, which is a deadly disease, you can get it off of doorknobs, and they last up to 2 years if people aren't washing. Cleaning room attendants may not be washing the doorknobs, may not be doing that. If you're not washing your hands and then using a paper towel to open that door, you could infect yourself or others with C. diff. And also, we went through years ago, a long time ago, when our children were small, Giardia, which you can get camping and stuff. A very awful thing where you get horrible stomach cramps. And you have to take heavy-duty antibiotics. I think they're antibiotics.
Yes, it's flagella, terribly painful to take.
Yeah, it's awful. So just to avoid that, hand washing is very important. And luckily on this cruise, and I think now all cruises are doing it, before you enter the buffet or restaurant, you can Purell your hands. Now, if you don't like Purell, just go to the bath. They have plenty of bathrooms on cruises. Now, if you choose not to go on a cruise, obviously, go find a restroom to wash your hands. It's just very important to keep your hands clean when you're going to be eating food.
Well, and the trick there too is, like on the buffets, they have all those tongs, right? So you wash your hands, you come in, you're clean, or the Purell, whatever. You have no germs on your hands, and you grab the tongs that all those guys that just came out of the bathroom.
That's right. That's right.
So you might actually, if you really want to make sure before you grab your rolls and your food or your veggies or what to put in your mouth, you might want to
wash your
clean
hands
after that.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing is, we actually ended up going to Bermuda, which is we'd never been to before.
No.
But the reason we chose that, you recommended it to us, was because it was the itinerary from the cruise port that was close enough for us to drive to.
Yes.
The first time, we've been on like 7 cruises in our life.
Yeah.
But this was the first time we ever drove. And frankly, for various reasons, you might find driving, if you can, to your destination rather than flying to reduce your risk of catching something, because so many people talk about the catching illnesses on airplanes.
Right. And the other thing was, for me, I wasn't driving, so it was more relaxing. Again, it was a long drive, but we could play games in the car. I could read. So anyway, it was a nice way to spend, and again, some more quality time together. And didn't want to go through the stress of security. Airplanes have become so
not user friendly.
And I will say, the cruise that we went on, yes, there was security and you had to go through it, but it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't, not like the airplanes. So that again was a much more relaxing, and that was a part of what we wanted, was it not only a relaxing vacation, but being able to relax while you're getting to that destination of your vacation was important.
Something else that we wanted to make sure not to fall off of a good habit was the nutritional supplements that we take, because we take a lot of different types of nutritional supplements, both for treating the Lyme and Candida as well as for just maintaining our nutritional health. And so what we did in preparation before the trip was, what we've done in several times past, is just pre-partition out all of our supplements, so for morning, for evening, for bedtime, and that kind of thing, into little baggies and label them and bring them along, so that we didn't have to worry about that on the vacation. We just had everything we needed, and by preparing ahead of time, made it easier while we were gone, and without losing our good habit that we had.
Right, that was important.
So those are some of our tips about how to stay healthy on vacation.
Yes.
Is there anything we missed?
Oh, staying hydrated. I think that's very important. We talked about the water, but it's so easy. I will tell you, the 7-hour hike, we ended up going to the bathroom in the woods, which is unusual.
And in the ocean.
And in the ocean, just because there wasn't a bathroom available. But you still do need to stay hydrated. It's not, you don't want to not stay hydrated, so that was important. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but I think we covered everything.
Those are the main topics.
Yeah.
So if you have other suggestions about ways that you know to stay healthy while traveling and healthy on vacation, go ahead and add them to the comments down below.
Yeah, that would be great.
To share with all of our other guests.
That would be awesome.
But whatever you
share
do,
with us.
remember to, yes, that's right. Remember to click on subscribe and to give a thumbs up if you like this video, and we'll make more. And there will be another version about our Bermuda vacation that has to do with preparedness and disaster survival on our reluctantpreppers.com channel. So remember to check that out when that comes out pretty soon.
Great. That sounds
Thanks.
good. Thank you, guys. See ya.
Adam Moran.